This is what we remember Father very often. He was one of the very enthusiastic leader of the stage crews. So he was always finding some contraptions or other for making things smoother for us. One of such things, I don't know what he's doing, but he's trying to do something.
He was arranging the overhead speaker.
Coming to speak of stage performances, Father.
This one.
This is the.
Just look at the back of this photo.
Okay, right. This is interesting. Please look at the picture. And you know who took this snap? Many of you will recollect. This is none other than Studio Bernali. I'm sure, Shuman, your heart is pounding. And we used to say Studio Bernali is the official photographer of St. Xavier's Sahibganj. Suman's father, Mr. Biswas, we used to call him Kaku, uncle. And he's still there. He's very affectionate and he's very still enthusiastic. And this picture was taken by Studio Bernali. Many such pictures were taken by Studio Bernali. By Suman's dad.
Suman.
And he was such a nice person. Whenever he came, we loved talking to him. It was wonderful. It's a pleasure to talk to him, even now. Even now.
And now also we are still with Studio Bernali
we are still with
product.
Studio Bernali product, yes.
Making this.
In fact, the gentleman behind the camera honed his photography skills from Suman's father. So he is actually Suman's father's student. That way. Father, come to think of stage, we often remember, I was in St. Xavier's from KG1 to class 12, class 10, I didn't do my 12th there. But very often whenever we had a drama or a play, you were so enthusiastic, I mean doing something, the light and the sound and finding out. I remember one particular incident, I'm sure Father you remember it very well. I was a very small kid, but you had allowed me to help at times. Of course I was not helping, but I was moving around, submerged in the old hall.
That's submerged.
Can you tell us something about that? I'm sure you remember that.
2 days ago, the fellow Subrato Roy, who acted in that one, that was an excellent, and we had a small stage, but the dramas that we used to do, now to have the whole stage like a submarine, and then suddenly in 5 minutes you have to have some kind of a court scene. Actually, I could do that because the hostelers at that time, since we had the hostel, we had a good stage crew. They were really working hard and I could work so well.
I remember there were some bamboo strips and then tarpaulin sheets.
So that will be able to make it like a submarine.
Sort of.
And then when we want to take it up, you can't take it up like a submarine. It has to be plain up back.
That was wonderful. I mean, I still remember. And I remember when we were having the rehearsals for that contraption to be set up, you had a stopwatch and you were seeing how much time it took for it to be set up and for it to be dismantled actually. That was, in fact, I remember now whatever I have learned as far as time management is concerned and doing all this with your own hands, I learned it from you, Father. I mean, this is beautiful, how you do those things. And I was always hankered to be one of your stage crews. When I grew up, every year, I mean, from K class, whenever I was allowed actually, I'd always been a stage crew and I enjoyed doing it. With the makeup and all, as to come rushing back to do my duties as a stage crew. Now here I see another beautiful picture. This I remember, I'm sure many of you might remember, this was one of those, what do you call them, Father? Windsurfers. Windsurfers. Imagine having a windsurfer in Purani Sahibganj. This was Bihar earlier, it's Jharkhand now. And this is a windsurfer. That was a sight to see. And here Father is rowing on the windsurfer. He had done something with it so that he could also paddle it actually. So this is the windsurfer and a beautiful picture, I must say.
We could use it also as a canoe.
Canoe, yeah. I remember many of us tried doing it and we were scolded for trying to take it to the Ganges at times. Then here we have another picture, beautiful. Not just the picture itself, but the person there.
These are scenes that they do not get now. These are beautiful scenes which used to have.
Just have a look
settings.
At this. Look at the picture. Boat with the sails, double sails. And there are no prizes for guessing who is the gentleman sitting in the middle. Of course, Father George, angling, one of his hobbies also. He had many such hobbies. And I remember later when we were in class 9 and 10, we used to seek permission for going angling at times. It was offered at times. So we used to have these earthworms, put them, and then we never caught any fishes. HC, I believe, got a few. But then it was fun, sitting with the angler rod there for the whole day and catching one or two fishes at the end of the day. So Father George as an angler. Now, please don't make a mistake, huh? This is not as you might imagine, a Hollywood superstar. This is Father George. Rarely do we see him in such a beautiful T-shirt, and I mean, look, Father George here. Can you make a distinction between the
that
two?
was taken in 1999.
Okay.
It is already 11 years ago.
Not many years ago. Just put on a little more weight, Father. Otherwise, it's okay, the same mood. And these are some old pictures of Father George. Here, that is this is in front of the school field. Okay, right. The field that we have immediately after entering the main gate. Now it's been half of it has been turned into a basketball court. Father, could you introduce the other people there? I can't find.
That is Father Chandran.
Oh, the one
who
who
was
used to play the piano accordion.
Piano accordion is a great musician.
He's in Raiganj now. And the other one on
the other one is his uncle.
Okay.
Who is
can you see Father Chandran here, and then Father Chandran's uncle.
His uncle is from Loyola, Chennai.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can see many of the old boys do not know the Jubilee Hall at this end, no?
Yes, the new construction there.
This one you have it. There it is not visible. Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, it's there. The Jubilee Hall.
And the primary building is there also.
This is the Jubilee Hall in the extreme, just behind the tree. And this is a very nice picture. This is the chemistry laboratory, and the gentleman in the suit is Mr. Munshi. We have a close-up view of him here also. So you have this Mr. Munshi there in the new chemistry lab in the new complex.
External examiner at that time.
Okay.
For the
Mr. Munshi, he was very serious and about doing examinations or elsewhere. And we have very simple, interesting anecdotes about Mr. Munshi. So you used to know the time when at 7 o'clock you used to hear Mr. Munshi shouting from the ground floor, Jamun Singh, and he used to come with, sweeper used to come with the sweep. So we knew there was half an hour left for the breakfast. Here you have Father George in front of a rickshaw with a dog. Father, what is the name of the dog? You will tell us later.
It was Lassie, for those who know Lassie. But that was in 1966. Huh?
That was 66.
Mm.
Father George with Lassie. And where was this? I can see the river. Was it the school campus?
Yeah, where we had that small pond in the
garden.
In the garden. Yeah, and then the river the other side.
So there was no boundary wall then.
The river was pretty far. As a matter of fact, this is the also behind that photo.
Okay.
This
so
was
you were
our
just telling
land.
me a short while ago that this was the school land where you had jute cultivation.
We used to have a lot of jute from that.
So what did you do with the jute, Father?
With the jute, we were using it for the jharu.
Okay, so for sweeping and cleaning. So you grow your own jute actually.
We were, but then now the river took everything, so we have only water there.
Now this is a student, I don't know who he is, Father might know, doing some chemistry practical, and Father had a close-up shot of him. Now this is, I wanted to show, is that with you, Father?
This is the kitchen.
Now,
this is the
I am sure
oven for bread.
Those people who did not live in the hostel, those ex-students who didn't live in the hostel, will not know what fun it was. These were the kitchen staff that we had then. I think they have been preparing bread, okay, curry, whatever. But this is the kitchen, school kitchen, and all the staff members. Oh, I think he is still there, Father. This he's working in the Father's dining hall now. What's his name? And Father George on the extreme left, here. What's his name, Father? Narayan? Was it Narayan?
Narayana.
This is Narayana. He's still there. He's looking after the Father's dining hall now. He has grown old and he's not as young as he looks here now. This is, okay, the kitchen.
We used to make bread also there.
Yeah, the kitchen, and there are big pots there and one big frying pan.
To make 40 loaves of bread.
40.
40.
Okay. Now, these were some of the old pictures of annual concerts, and make no mistake about it, all the stage contraptions that we see there, this is a court scene, everything has been touched by Father George in some way or other. So he made it look very natural with the red cloth and bamboo things. Nothing could be seen from outside though, but everything was so spick and span. Another picture of the stage that he had, and this I believe is a more recent picture. This is a more recent picture of the school. I'll get it for you.
I'm sorry, but
I think no, I didn't tell you. Just a few days ago, I think it was day before yesterday.
Saturday.
On Saturday, Father was, as is his usual shelf, he was getting up on a ladder actually, at this age, and he fell down from the ladder. He fell on two other fathers, including the Father Minister, and he has a fractured rib. He's finding it very difficult to cough and sneeze and move around a bit. Can't sleep well, but he was so agreeable for the interview. He was just looking forward to it. And this is a very recent picture. Now, this is a picture I would love to share with you all. Before I tell you other things, just have a look at the picture. Then I'll tell you the details. I didn't know it. Father told me a short while ago. Did you get a closer view of it? Yes. Now, as Father will tell you, it's for him to find out the secret.
Here, this picture was taken on the birthday of Suman Biswas,
Who is in Singapore now?
Who is in Singapore, and of course, who is running this
SOXA
website. And his father had come. His father is this one here.
And here you have got Suman's father.
And below is Suman.
And blue shirt and half pant is Suman Biswas. It was his birthday.
And of course, he brought a lot of sweets and whatnot. And Suman shared with everybody. That's what that spirit was beautiful there at that time, where we were sharing with so many of the other companions. And here we have got Sukanto Rudrapal, Sujit Singh.
Okay.
They were many brothers, Sujit
I'm sure many of you who are watching this might recognize yourself or your batch pets. I'm sure you would love to see yourself again. This will be put up on the website, so you could check your pictures there.
Could be that it is already there. Or that,
The Father, there's something that I was really wishing to ask you. You had so many moments, so memorable occasions in Sahibganj. Could you just relate a few very memorable instances that you can just recollect at this point of time?
Quickly, Sahibganj used to be very hot, so at night I used to allow the boys, both juniors and seniors, of course, in different areas, because we had big terrace, to take, after their studies at night, to take the bedding up on the terrace, and we were sleeping on the terrace.
Even you slept?
I also used to sleep there. So I said, I don't want any talking up there, otherwise down you go. So it's in your hands. In the meantime, some boys used to remain studying in the hall. So one day, I had taken my bedding already up there, ready. But one day I went up early also to be on the terrace, sleeping there. And those boys who came late, they didn't know that I was there. So at a distance there were two fellows on their mattresses, but head to head, and they were talking. And I was a bit far. So on the pillow I switched on the torch, blinding them. One of them was from Kolkata. He was a certain Paul. I think now he is a doctor. I have never met him again. He turned and he said, "Switch off that torch." So I switched it off. Then they went on talking.
He didn't know it was you?
Of course not. So again I switched on the torch. And he again turned back and he retorted, please switch off that torch. I switched it off, what to do? And I went on talking. Then I said, no. I put myself, my chin on the pillow and my hand, started shining the torch and remained like that. And that fellow got angry, so he looked at the door under the tank, water tank, door of the stairs, to see whether I am coming from there. So he said, switch off that torch. And I did not move, I remained with the torch blinding him. So he looked again at that, and he started coming on all fours and telling me, switch off that torch. And I don't answer or do anything. So he went on coming. When he came close, he lifted up his hand to slap me. He said, I said, switch off that torch. Why are you not switching off that torch? I told him, because I am the vice principal. He started moving backwards. That was one. I had a lot of these sort of things. And
there's one thing I'm sure everybody would love to hear. You had a nickname, Father. So how did you find out your nickname?
I knew that every prefect that came, say like even Father Steno, I knew that they used to call him the hippie, because he had some long hair and smokes like or not. So there was another one, JK something, JK we used to call him, but his nickname was Gandhi.
Oh yeah, we never knew he was JK, he was Gandhi to all of us, Gandhi.
He was JK, Joseph something from the south, but I used to call him Gandhi. So one day I asked the boy, say, listen, I know the nicknames of, I must be having one, no? How, Father, we won't tell you yours. I said, okay, I'll be happy to know what is my nickname also, no? But no, it's top secret. So one day when the boys, the class 10 boys were preparing for their ISC, the other hostelers had gone home, and we used to keep these boys for 1 month so that they'll study. And of course, we were more relieved. We don't have so many boys hostelers. You have only these. And one night, the fathers, I was with Father Nino Gatt and some other fathers. After dinner, we were having recreation late in the veranda there. And from our veranda, we could hear some boys talking in the dormitory. Father Gatt passed a comment. He said, there is the discipline of the hostel. Sort of, that was direct hit for me, no? So I quietly stood up, went towards the kitchen, started climbing the stairs. It was dark at night. But of course I knew every inch of the building, and especially that the dormitory with all those double-deckers and narrow pathways as if you are in Borough Bazaar. So I walked in without switching the torch, and when I reached the place, I switched on the torch and I found out a group of about 10 of them who were squatting and just talking together. So I told them, didn't I tell you not to talk loudly or anything? At night you sleep. Down to my office from the top floor, no, ground floor, from the dormitory. So in line, they started walking out of the door, down into the stairs and to the vice principal's office, quite far. But I was walking behind them. When I reached the door of the dormitory, it struck me that I am going with 10 boys and I am going to leave 45 behind. So I suspected that there will be a good tamasha. The mice will dance when the cat is away, isn't it? So I decided to come back to the dormitory. I entered the dormitory and remained in the middle there, somewhere in the middle.
And it was dark.
And I kept quiet. After some time, it was all silence. In the meantime, the others had gone to the vice principal's office. After some time, somebody from one end of the dormitory, he said, "Hey, Ujjal." There was Ujjal Shah from that Kundli side, Borio. "Hey, Ujjal, kya hua?" Then Ujjal replied, he said, "Kya hua?" He said, they were talking and Sala vice principal came and caught them. And I was sort of, didn't know what to do. Okay. Then another fellow from another place, he said, "Well, he told us so much, they should have stayed in their beds, and you talk on a soft voice." Yeah, he was quite happy with this. He said, "At least."
Munawar Khurshid?
I think that was Manwar Khurshid. Then another fellow from somewhere, he said, "Well, after all, bond is always bond." And I thought to myself, "Oh, there it is coming." And the boy, the student where I was standing, who was in the bed next to me, where I was standing, when this one said, "Bond is always bond," this fellow answered, "He never misses." I switched on the torch. I told him I did not miss this one either. Out I went from the dormitory. I was satisfied.
Father, can you just take one half?
Yeah.
Father, you're just referring to Father Gut. We knew him as Father Anthony Gut, but you often refer to him as Ninu or Father Ninu Gut. Now, when we were in school, and even later, we always had this curiosity that there was something cold between you and Father Ninu Gut. Some sort of a cold relationship or something. So we never dared to ask you, I'm supposing, may I ask you, what exactly was there? I mean, was there anything at all?
Well, I mean, I put it on two levels. You, of course, I cannot deny it because you fellows, when you are young, you are very sharp. So you can immediately make out that there is something. But I put it on two levels. Say, between me and Inugat and the other fathers, there was nothing of a clash or anything. But when it came on the level of the school and our work, say I was vice principal, he was principal, naturally there was a little bit of, not clash, but attitudes which were not the same. Say, and I believe it should be like that. The principal was more kind of strict, and he wants to have that kind of discipline. But on the other hand, my position was not, say, of a principal, but of a vice principal, okay, to a certain extent, but then mainly of hostel in charge. And hostel in charge, this is, I compare it like when you are in a family, the husband, the father, is a bit strong, but the mother is always a bit soft towards the children. So probably I had that one. I always was more kind of affectionate. As a matter of fact, at times, for example, when I used to be doing something with the boys in the enclosure in the garden. Of course, I used to be working like them, so nobody could make out that I am there. Once, for example, he started shouting at the boys, "What are you doing here? Get out of here, I don't want you here." And then after some time I stood up sort of, to show him that I am there. But anyway, I told them, well, he told you go out of here. So I'm not going to put him. But there, of course, one wants to be with us and to leave us here. The other one, no, go that side. Okay. Now, in this case, earlier when there was Father Briffa as prefect, I was there also. This is a very important thing which I want to share with all our old boys. Father Stellini was very strict. You may not be knowing Father Stellini.
Yes, he got me admitted to school. I have very fond memories of him.
Yeah. So Stellini was very strict. And he told us, the prefect of the seniors, 24 hours with the seniors. Studies, games, classes, whatever it is. One of the juniors with the juniors. And naturally, since Briffa was senior to me, so they gave him the senior section. And I had the junior section. But it so turned up that I was good in football, and I had the football team of the school. Now, Briffa for sports was a kaddu, absolutely nothing. So his great penance was the games time. As a matter of fact, once he told me, look, George, we'll do like this. During games time, you stay with the seniors, I will go with the juniors. Juniors do not expect you to play with them. But the seniors, I said, okay, so we did that. Lo and behold, Father Stellini noticed it. So he comes into the seniors field and he stops everything. He said, didn't I tell you that the seniors, you have to be with the juniors, not with the seniors? Now, a principal is telling the prefect in front of the boys, quit, go and stay there, and let the other fellow come here. Of course, not playing with them, he will stay outside, but at least he will be supervising. So, at that time I was a bit young also. I mean, what do you expect? I suppose you will say, oh, if it was me, I would have fired him. I felt it also. But with our training, I felt it, I kept it. We went for showers. Then it was Saliba's, Briffa's turn to be with the boys during study. Both seniors and juniors, big hall together. So at that time, I told Father Stellini, God rest his soul, I told him, Father, I want to go to the superior who was at Sakrida, what is that? Nellyvilla. And then he knew that it's because of that. Oh, he said, oh, you know, don't worry. I said, no, you cannot stop me. I have to go and talk to the superior. So I went. Of course, I was boiling to come and tell me that in front of the boys, give me marching orders. Okay. I went to the superior. Come, sit down.
Who was the superior?
At that time he was that saintly fellow, Father Savona. He was saint above saints. Too good. I mean, he was good. I went and I started pouring out that, you see, I was in front of the boys, this principal comes, scolds me in front of the boys, go that side, and I'm, and anyway, and he's listening. And then he told me, did you say what you have to say? I said, yes. Sort of, I was relieved. Now, what do you expect him to tell me after telling him all that? Come on, say it.
Get along with it, or this is a kind of...
No. I mean, I expected him to tell me, no, he should not have done that. He should have let it be, and then later he should have told you, no, I don't want you to do that. So, I expected him to do that. And I was ready for that sort of reaction too. Yes, George. When I told him, yes, I finished. Yes, George, now I tell you, when you are in the same position, don't do the same.
Beautiful. Even you are in the same position, don't do the
I
same
mean, when you come to that stage, don't do the same to those
to the prefects.
to the subordinates. All right, you can apply it also when you are in the office at work. You say so much against the boss, you become the boss and you'll do exactly like him. That was a big lesson for me. I was dumbfounded. I just said thank you and went out, walking slowly to St. Xavier's, to the school, thinking about this in my mind. When you come there in that position, don't do the same. And I hope that, I suppose, all will get the lesson of this, because do you see these things? That's why I said whenever I have some problem and something which hurts me, but you wait a little and you find out that you benefit so much, something good comes out of it. This one was told to me about 34 years ago. It's still fresh and still has got a meaning, and it will continue to have meaning.
But even after so many years, Father, when last time Father Gat was here, you had a picture together. A lot of people said, you see, there's still some coldness between them. Is this true? I mean, do you still... there was a couple of years ago, Father Gat was in your room up there. I mean, have you overcome that stage when that coldness is gone, or still that's...
No, as I said, no, that was only in our place of work, because he naturally had to take the thing of the authority. I also was the authority, but on the other hand, I had the soft heart for the boys who are... You see, I knew the boys, I knew their parents. I was very much in touch with the parents of all the hostelers. And that makes a lot of difference.
So you talked about your happy moments on certain memorable occasions. You gave us a beautiful incidences. Now, to ask you some of your saddest events that you had, some very sad events, something that really touched you a lot during your tenure as Vice Principal or Prefect at St. Xavier's Sarpanch.
Well, I said exactly this one of Stellini. What do you mean?
I mean,
well, of course.
Some of your one or two sad moments, or saddest moments, if I may say so.
Well, sad moments, say when some boys had to be expelled. Because I feel that we are there to educate. Now, if you have got lambs, everybody quiet, what beauty is there? Say, in the hostel, I had some boys who were, my goodness, if somebody tries to pass a joke or give them a remark, they start crying. Oh my goodness. So am I going to punish the other boy? On the contrary, this boy has to get a bit more of that so that he will grow up a little. He will not be always under the protection of mommy or daddy. When you come to the higher education and whatnot, then you have to be your own master, no? So, but at times, say like when somebody had to leave because of something, and like when Stellini used to tell me, for example, sometimes when there is a report from other prefects and whatnot, hey, tell that fellow to go home and to bring his parents. For me, those were sad moments, because, and especially also expulsions. Because I am going to expel a boy who needs me to build him up. You expel him, you have no contact with him. Finished.
So, Father, during your tenure in St. Xavier's, what according to you has been your greatest success?
Success, I don't know. I don't look at this success. All I know is that I was happy with the boys, and I had groups of boys with whom I could work, even when I knew that sort of they were naughty and whatnot. Of course, probably I would have done the same thing. I never kicked the ball on the mango trees because in Malta we had no mango trees. So if I was in the same situation, I suppose I would have done the same. And what is there? You have a mango tree with a thousand mangoes because 2 or 3 fall down.
So Father, we are all very saddened to know that you are leaving for Malta for a year.
Yes.
What is your feelings now? I mean, what exactly is your feelings now?
I feel that I have gained weight, about 2 kilos, because, and I was trying to find out why do I have 2 kilos extra. So I think it is because I am going with a very heavy heart. I am not quite happy, and I am looking forward that after 1 year I'll come back. The contract is like that. I am going there to help in that other province in Malta. And then after 1 year I come back. They will assess again the situation, whether they want me there or whether I am needed more there or more here.
So there is no guarantee that you will certainly come back after 1 year? Are you saying that?
That I come, I think there is a guarantee that I come by November latest.
2011?
But then, whether it will be renewed again, the same thing, I don't know.
So there is a possibility of yours overstaying in Malta beyond a year?
A year, 2 months.
I would rather say apprehension instead of possibility from our point of view.
There is a probability also that I may stay and then finish. But if I stay more than 1 year, 4 or 5 months, then I will not be able to come back. Because in the meantime my permit will expire. And I have to renew it before it expires.
So this is going to be a very, very sad moment for us, especially those of us who are in and around Calcutta. We keep on coming, dropping in, giving him phone calls. There are occasions when we are not very regular, but we always know if I have a problem, I just phone him. Whatever, personal problem at home, in the office, in the college, and I'm sure he has his assuring words on the phone or in front when he talks to me. That actually recharges my batteries. So I'll get back to Father George for one last piece of message from him. Father, what would you like to say to all our students and the students will pass from St. Xavier's years later? What is your message for all of us?
Well, the message is that we have grown in a family, not only we, all students have their own associations in other schools also. And there are new ones passing through the school whom I don't know, but I'm glad to say that the spirit of one big family, whether we are old or young, I am noticing that the new ones, say whom you never knew, and we meet at a meeting, we immediately within 1 minute, 2 minutes, as if you were at the same time in the school at the same time.
The intervening years just
so let us keep up that spirit. We can keep it up with this technology nowadays. As a matter of fact, I'll be in Malta, but I think when I was in Malta looking after my brother, when I had a lot of time on the computer, it is there that I started contacting the old boys mainly. Recently, I have been a bit out of touch, though I have been getting the feeling of the boys through the some messages on the Yahoo groups. Now we are organizing. The SOXA is getting organized pretty well, and I hope that we will continue to be in touch.
Okay, thank you very much, Father. And as we wind up this discussion, on behalf of all ex-students of St. Xavier's Sahibganj, we would like to convey our deep sense of gratitude to Father George, not only for this particular interview, but for everything that he did for us. When we were alone at St. Xavier's Sahibganj, when we were sick, when we were ill, when we were feeling sad. I particularly remember one day in the evening when everybody was playing games in the table tennis and all. For some reason I was feeling very homesick. I was a kid of class 6 or 7 then. And I was standing in front of the class 7 corridor, which is very close to the vice principal's office. And lo and behold, Father George was playing nursery rhymes. He had a big box of nursery rhymes, cassettes. And he noticed me waiting outside. I wasn't very close to him in St. Xavier's because I was very scared of him. I don't know what he was. But I really feel bad that I didn't get to know him earlier. And he brought me to his office. I think he sensed something and made me sit there. He said, which nursery rhymes would you like to listen to? And there were a big number of them. And immediately I really enjoyed it. And there was another occasion. There was a big floods. And there were no trains coming to Kolkata. It was a holiday in 1978, if I am not mistaken. And we were in the hostel and we wanted to come back for the Puja vacation. It was one of very famous festival for all of us. And what happened was we couldn't come actually. We stayed along and we were feeling a little bored, we were feeling pensive. And you know what? Father George took us to his room, to his office, vice principal's office. He had, I believe, an 8mm projector.
60.
Small one?
Super 8, yes,
yeah,
yes.
It was a small
8mm
projector. And he showed us 10 commandments and a few other films and explained that to us. So he tried his best within the limitations of technology available in St. Xavier's at that point of time to make us feel comfortable. That was Father George. You always knew you could trust him, you could rely on him, and he was like a parent to you. St. Xavier's was your second home. So if you are missing your parents, Father George was always there with you. So as we wind up, on behalf of all of us, I would like to thank Father, and I'd like to pray to the Lord. All of us will pray for your good health, Father. We have one request: please take your medicines on time and please take care of your health. And we pray to the Lord that Father keeps well. He has a very long life. He keeps on advising us, blessing us. He's giving his suggestions and advice as we move along in life. And he definitely comes back to us again in 2011 November. Thank you very much, Father.
Keep in touch.
So now we are going to do something very interesting, Father. With your permission, we will take a snap of your room, which I believe is very clean always, with nuts and bolts and medicines and papers and whatnot. Find out. This is Father George's room in St. Xavier's, Kolkata. So we are here. We enter this way. As you can see, it's pretty clean.
Actually,
don't try to clean it up now, Father. It's clean enough.
You see, this is my bookshelf, but you see this side?
Yeah. The wires.
The workers, to find their wires without having to wait, they put them in my room.
So the excuse is acceptable.
Because my door is always open.
And books on this side with the sundry brasso there. And I don't know, what's this, Father? This one?
It's a toolbox.
Oh, it's a toolbox. A number of tool boxes to be precise. And here you have an assortment of medical equipments. Plenty of medicines on the other side of the Almira. And that's a big thermometer up there with centigrade and Fahrenheit. We are missing Snoopy around here. But,
Snoopy died.
Yeah, Snoopy died, so it's missing. And this is a table. Father George alone knows where he puts things. I'm sorry, he doesn't know where he puts things. He puts it and then he forgets. So you have everything here. Pictures, medicines, pens, of course a tap from some bathroom toilet or something, a small belt here, and okay, n number of things here. Typical Father George's room actually.
Hello Chinta, where are you? Refectory, okay, I'm coming down here so that we go quickly. Okay? Alright. See you.
Nick.